men and good women, right? Hold on, let me just close this door because my sound is.
Hey, good evening, my good people. Glad y'all could join us tonight. Tonight's show, uh, the topic was originally going to be where are the good women? But we going me and Aaron, who was a returning guest the last time he joined the show, we had some technical difficulties during the show, but hopefully he could join us and give us some insight. He's he's that age where I would say that a lot of younger guys is in the middle of figuring things out, knowing what they want, have their plan for their future. So I think that having somebody his age would be good because in a lot of cases, a lot of people are very bitter. So sometimes they may come off as very negative with what they might be saying. So I asked Aaron to join me as well as two other guests who apparently I don't know where they are right now, but we shall see. Oh, we just got one that just jumped into the queue. But the topic tonight is going to be where are the good women and the good men? And for those that watch the show, we got Rel joining us. So the topic, Rel, has been switched to where are the good women and the
I am
good
ready.
men? Yes, yes. Um, so everybody that's joined the show, whether you on Facebook or YouTube or Periscope, your comments is more than welcome, as usual. Uh, let's go, Aaron. We're the good men. Where are the good women? Let's start with that one first. Where are the good women, Aaron?
F- First and foremost, thank you for having me. Appreciate that. When it comes to good men and good women, we are everywhere. Honestly, I think the problem is digging through the minutia a little bit. A whole lot of the instant gratification society nowadays, where why look for a good woman or why look for a good man when I can get everything I want in a vacuum. And I think a lot of people get lost in that vacuum to the point where it's like, all right, I got this ideal person in my dreams, but that same person is chasing the same fallaciousness that I was chasing 5 minutes ago. But now all of a sudden my mind changed. And I think too many of the women nowadays, they get caught up in that. They find that perfect man, they find that perfect situation. But the dude, he already settled in that situation. So it's like, why should I jump out? And now all of a sudden the women, they stuck. Like I got this good man that don't want no future. They don't want marriage. They don't want nothing like that. And that's what we getting down to. Is we not having good women. We not having good men. We just not having good relationships in general. Like we out there. It's just people ain't trying to take it to this level. That marriage. We're not looking at that. A lot of people are looking more into just not a polygamist, but just that looseness in who they are able to be serious with. And I think that's what a struggle lies.
Rel, let me ask you, where the good women, brother?
I think the values change. It's like he said, the values change because I mean, what they basically looking at every day on air is instant gratification, or you know what I'm saying? Like they value, it's just everything short term. So it's like, okay, well, I want to do the vacations, or I want to do this, I want to do that. But everything they're talking about is like basically the glory of what they saying on maybe social media. So okay, we going on trips, or we're doing, we have this accomplishment, and nobody's thinking like, yo, that shit that you have to play in for the long term game.
Keep
And then
talking,
it's
Rel.
a certain place anymore. Like we used to meet people at certain places, and that's just not what it is anymore. You know what I mean? So like there's no foundation of I'm gonna find these guys here or this chick, this type of chick here. So I just think it's really hard to pinpoint where they are. I think you just have to be that type of person. And like my aunt says that shit to me all the time. She's like, yo, well, what type of energy are you attracting? I think it relies on like she said, it relies on your energy and what you pulling in. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you that one of the things that I noticed. Let me ask both of you brothers. And Rel, you can answer this first.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I noticed is that we spend a lot of times with the battle among sexes, where we're so busy trying to, let's say, we're looking for a man's perspective, we're looking for a good woman, we're looking for a good woman,
Mm-hmm.
but we could be bad men, and vice versa. A lot of women that say, "Oh, I'm looking for a good man, I'm looking for a good man," but they're not a good woman. So, do you think that one of the criteria that we should have is trying to perfect ourselves first, or trying to get ourselves together, and then the right person will come along, or what?
Yeah, I think that's like I said, it's your energy. You know what I mean? Like, uh, my whole thing is like like who are you? What type of person are you really? I think and it doesn't when it comes to like relationship. People only don't just do that when it comes to looking for somebody. I think people always put the blame on other people. Just period. Like it's so like sports, like everything. Nobody looks internally first. So it's a very common thing. Just period in humanity. And I think that stops so many successful relationships because like you always tend to look at that person like, yo, this is your fault, this is your fault, this fault, your fault. And really the answers be inside, you know what I mean?
What do you think, Aaron?
If I could chime in, I think oftentimes we get that woman right, and she wants to mold you into that man that you're supposed to be, and that man that wants you to mold you into that woman that you're supposed to be, instead of trying to mold yourself into that person you want to be in a relationship. And I think that's where we make a big mistake at. Like, oh yeah, I'm with this girl. I want her to be my wife. I want her to have this savings, and I want her to have this, and I want her to have that. Meanwhile, you're not doing it yourself. So you got this high expectation and this pedestal that you're trying to put somebody else at that you're not even meeting yourself at. So oftentimes you're trying to force yourself into these perfect relationships, and it's not getting there. And that's where relationships tend to fail. That's why you see a whole lot of people when they break up in a relationship, it's animosity, it's anger, it's all this vitriol. Where at the end of the day, y'all was just best friends 5 minutes ago, but now all of a sudden, this person ain't a good person. After spending 10 years with that person, that would make sense to me.
Well, they used to say that all the good men and all the good women was in the church and the laundromat and I guess the masjids and places like that.
Yeah.
You think that's just some old fairy tale?
Nah, I don't think that's what a good women. I think the good women are everywhere. I think the good women are a situation, and I think every woman has that right situation for that right guy. Oftentimes we try to think we got this whole vision of preference, but that preference is probably leading you down the wrong path, especially for women. I don't know how many female friends y'all got, but I tend to have a lot of female friends, and it seems they all have the same issues because they coming home with the same men, and they continue to make that same mistake, and they're not looking outside the box. So I try to challenge them. I try to say, alter your attraction a little bit. Look, instead of trying to find that guy with the $100,000 bank account, look for the guy with the 60 and see if y'all can build something. Instead of trying to find that guy with that ideal look that you're going after, look for somebody that's a little different. Maybe a shorter guy, maybe a darker skinned guy, maybe a different race, whatever the case may be. Try something different because obviously you're doing something wrong. Same thing goes for men. I know a lot of my friends, they love to deal with the same kind of women, and then all of a sudden now, oh, this is a bitter woman. This is this. Not even considering that you tend to go for that same type of chick. Alter your attraction. Look and see if something different is out there for you, because that's probably where your happiness is lying, or that's where your happiness isn't.
I think.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
I think what happens is like men are a little bit more conscious of they mess ups. So like it's like he said, we kind of know we messing with the same people, you know what I mean? But because we're so sex driven, I don't think we really care. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm gonna speak for myself. I never care about a relationship until it becomes one. You know what I'm saying? Like so I'm never looking for a relationship, and I tell chicks this all the time, like, and it's a great answer because they'll be like, you thinking about getting serious or whatever, or you available to get something? Like, man, whatever happens is whatever happens, because my policy is not to have expectations on what, you know what I'm saying? Because you could be a stripper chick, but you might meld correctly with me. And I just think that on the opposite side, women tend to, like he said, paint the picture before they even get into it. So what happens is, especially when they dealing with me, what happens is when they start painting that picture beforehand, they have some big expectations of what I'm supposed to be, or who am I supposed to be to them. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like he said, either they're not living up to the expectation themselves, or the picture is a little bit blurry from what they thought it would be. And then it's like, it's a big ass disappointment. You would think you put your hands on some of these girls, you know what I'm saying? The amount of disappointment. And I think dudes just get sometimes either they get in too deep and get blindsided also. But I just don't see the big expectation there. But I just noticed that the enemy of women and them finding the right person for them is, like he said, trying to paint that.
Real,
if y'all look back, you know what I'm saying, at the people that you mess with, it's never the person you thought it would be. You know what I mean?
we got another co-host that decided to join in. Miss Shakita is here. I don't have your camera, Shakita. Okay, there you go.
No, I turned it off. That's fine.
Okay. Before I ask you this question, Keita, I want to you guys. Her name is Shakita, sir.
He's so fucking disrespectful and rude.
Anyway, let me ask you guys a question before I get to Shakita. And Shakita, you can answer this question when I get done, and I have to.
Sure, take your time.
When I say what I'm about to say and the words I'm about to use, I have to use certain language that may be inappropriate to use. So I don't want nobody to take offense to what I'm saying. Rel and Aaron, do you think that when a guy gets himself involved in a chick that or female that is considered a known, she's very promiscuous, and the female deals with a guy that's known as basically using females as a nut rag, do you think that these people are looking for the right person or trying to change that individual, or just, they just getting burnt? Aaron, you can go first.
You want to go first, bro?
Aaron froze.
Y'all hear me?
Both of y'all froze.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rel.
That's God.
You hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead, Rel.
Shut up. Yeah. So hold up. State that question again, real quick.
What I was saying was when a guy deals with a female, and he's looking for a good female, but he happens to always pick the wrong female. As far as he's picking these women that are very promiscuous, and he's trying to make her into a good girl.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa for the guy,
Okay.
for the female. She's looking for a good guy, but she keeps picking the wrong guy who's known for using women as,
Right.
excuse my language, nut rags. Who do you blame in that instance?
You definitely got to blame the person who's being quote unquote victimized. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I think actually, that's how people destroy. Like that's how people destroy their own life. Like you pretty much you gotta go with what's going with you. And people just tend to want like people that don't really want them. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want that challenge, and then at the same time they want to blame that person. But you already know, like the clues is always there who wants you. And I just talked to a female friend for like 4 hours last night. You know what I mean? And she's telling me all of this stuff about a person who clearly wants her, but she don't want him because of that. You know what I mean? But I'm sure she's out there and she wants somebody who do less than what he do. And like you really just gotta blame the person who's the quote unquote victim, because like why do we have to be in dysfunction?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're asking for dysfunction.
We got somebody else in the queue as well. Shakita, did you have something you had to say about this?
Well, from your question to his answer, I got a little confused. Are you asking why do people who wants a good mate pick someone that would use them as a sex object?
Basically, yes.
So who's doing the picking? The person who wants the mate is picking the sex object?
Yeah, the person, when we talk about somebody looking for a good man or a good woman, we're trying to address them, like where are the good ones at? But then they're looking and they keep picking. Their history says, they just keep picking the wrong person. I mean,
so the person who wants the relationship is picking the person that they just want to sleep with. They're not picking the relationship person?
Exactly.
Well, maybe they're just not looking. Maybe what they want or what they're thinking they want, they really don't want. Because if you want to be in a relationship, then why would you pick someone that you just want to sleep with? Why wouldn't you be picking someone who would help grow and nurture and mature in a relationship with you? It doesn't make any sense. Well, I don't know. I couldn't answer that because I kind of can't relate.
Well, according to that question, see, I look at it like this. It's like, all right, so for instance, like the best example is women. A lot of women, you know what I'm saying, they'll go across and they'll pick the wrong man. You know what I'm saying? Subconsciously, they know they shouldn't be with the person. They crying every night, you know what I'm saying? But they going to pick the same archetype of the same person. So, let's do the typical situation. A regular chick is messing with the drug dealer. She already knows what the drug dealer does. You know what I'm saying? She knows she got slapped last time. She know he went to jail. She know he cheated on her. And then the next situation, she goes and gets with another drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? And they might be from the same hood. You know what I'm saying? The same people have usually the same tendencies. So, in that case, go ahead.
When you start talking about what a person's profession is, whether it's legal or illegal, I don't think it matters. I mean, people can be with drug dealers and they treat them kindly and they're loving and they're generous. But that's they may or may not be getting knocked upside the head. Like that,
You know,
that might
Well,
not
we
be
know
their
that, but
issue.
the average,
When
the
we're
average-
talking about relationships and people, it doesn't matter what you're doing for a living. If you're
Okay.
picking
Can I say something?
relationship,
Hold on,
when I'm finished, I'm sorry. When you're picking people who you're in relationship, when you're picking someone to be in a relationship with, and your pattern is to constantly be in relationships with somebody who you can't grow and mature with in a relationship, a lot of that has everything to do with what you're really ready for. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my opinion. Some people are ready to be in relationships and they don't settle. They are not trying to nurture and fix anybody who's broken. They're not trying to stick around for any
oh yeah,
dysfunction. When they're ready for a relationship, they go after a relationship. I believe that when people are in situations where they are with people, no matter the profession, if they're not progressing in a relationship, or this person keeps stepping out on you and doing things, you keep involving yourself with people like that, you know, at some point, you know, it's easy for everybody to just say there's something wrong with you. You're dysfunctional. You like dysfunction. I think a lot of that just comes from they're not really ready to be in a true relationship, and it's easy
That's
to be with
dysfunction.
somebody who. I'm not saying it's not dysfunction. I'm saying it's not that type of dysfunction.
Okay.
So it's easy to be with somebody who is not going to really commit and not do the things that you want them to do, and you're just still kind of hanging out with them, doing stuff with them while still believing you want to be in a relationship.
Before we introduce Anthony, the topic of the show is where are the good men and good women?
Okay.
The original topic was supposed to just be women, but since we're here, we might as well talk about men anyway, because it's really just about people. The question I just presented to them was, let me present a different question to you, Anthony.
Okay.
Where do you think the good men and women are?
They're everywhere. The thing is you have to you have to know what type of person you want to be with. You have to be, at the end of the day, the only person that knows who you want to be with is you. Getting back to what they were talking about, there's a certain type of archetype for people that, you know, what they like. And I just figure, say you got a woman or a guy that's just been having bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship. When you have a situation like that, you have to start looking at patterns. You have to be like, okay, what's the correlation between the bad relationships and the people that they're in? What's the same? So if you have a woman that says, "Oh man, I date nothing but fuck boys. All I date is fuck boys. All I date is," I don't mean to curse, but all I date is this and these guys. I'm like, okay, what's the same? What's the correlation between all these guys? Are they not doing what they're supposed to do? Are they, you know, going out and cheating? Are they going out and, you know, not having a job? Is that the same thing that you're dealing with? And if it's all the same, then you're just like, well, you know, this is your type. This is what you're looking for. You put yourself in that position. I understand what Jeff's saying. I understand what you're saying too. It's Shakita, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Shakita. What's your name?
Shakita.
Trina. I'm sorry, Trina. So I understand what you're both saying. Jeff's going off of patterns. That's how I would look at it. You know what I'm saying? And you're going off of like, well, you know, I guess, well, you know, drug dealers can be good boyfriends or, you know, girlfriends or whatever.
Anybody can be a good boyfriend. Anybody
Exactly.
can be a good
I know that. Just like an investment banker could be an asshole. But the thing is that you have to look at what gives you a higher propensity to have problems. Like what situation is going to have the highest probability of giving you problems?
How would you know?
Huh?
How would you even know that? How would you know that?
Okay. Put it like this. If say I'm, you know, you back where you live at or whatever, and there's people out there that you know are always into some bad stuff, always into some stuff, always in and out of jail, you know, walking around having hunt kids with everybody else and stuff like that, you know. Would you put yourself in that position? Would that be really?
I've never dated a drug dealer that's done that. I've dated drug dealers, but see, this is what I'm saying. When you're talking to me directly, and I can't relate, I'm gonna just tell you I can't relate.
Okay.
When
Well,
Jeff said
hypothetically.
drug dealers are knocking you upside your head, I don't think me nor him was trying to make a point. I think I was simply saying, to keep, like, what difference does it make what the person does for a living? Somebody can knock you
Okay.
upside your head no matter what.
The difference.
So
The
I didn't want
difference.
to get caught up. I didn't want to get caught up in trying to, label drug dealers as being
All
abusive.
right. Well,
I didn't want
I'll
to
put
do
it
that.
back on me. I'll put it back on me. I'll put it back on me. Say I've been in a whole bunch of bad relationships, right?
Okay.
With women cheating on me, women doing whatever, right? And I catch up and I say, you know what? I started dating this stripper, working at a club and stuff like that. Now, knowing that I had bad relationships before, and she's working in an environment that's full of men that's touching on her and doing all that.
Okay.
Does that seem like a good idea for me to go, a good relationship to dive into? As a woman, if you were my sister, would you give me caution on doing that? If you were my sister, would you just be like, go ahead, do whatever you want to do?
If dating a stripper makes you uncomfortable and seeing other men touch her and makes you insecure or causes issues in your relationship, then you should pick a different type of woman. Not that this woman is bringing you any particular hardship, but if that's something that you can't handle, then you should not date her.
But especially knowing my track record, though.
Wait a
Like,
second,
see,
Aaron.
track record.
Let me get Aaron, because
I'm not.
we had lost connection, Aaron, when I asked this question. Aaron, do you have something to say about this question? I can't hear you. Aaron, you heard me, Aaron?
I think he froze again.
But anyway, look, the question I'm presenting you guys is not to not to try to confuse nobody, but it's not an issue of a person's profession, whether they're a good person or not.
Right.
I don't think it's a matter of profession.
Right.
Now, if we're choosing somebody, whether they're good or not, based upon their profession, I myself would think that would be kind of crazy.
Right.
Whether that character of that person would be crazy based upon their profession, because I'm quite sure we're all at the age where we don't seen good people and bad people come from all types of walks of life.
Absolutely.
So not saying that Jeff is wrong for bringing up the scenario about a drug dealer, but like let's try to get past, like I said before, the battle of the sexes. Like, so much so we get so caught up in, I want this perfect girl. I want her. She got to be this. She got to be that. She got to be that. She got to be that. When I'm all jacked up, I don't even know how to love myself, let alone try to love her, let alone trying to love my sisters, let alone try to love my aunts, my female cousins. Do you guys think that a lot of people are not focusing on themselves enough and focusing on trying to fix the person they're interested in?
But that's the problem, Q. You attract who you are. Tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I'm a firm believer in fixing yourself before you dive into something with everybody else. Because if you have problems, if you have issues within, it's going to cause major problems in your relationship, because the person that gets in a relationship is going to waste valuable time trying to fix you. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big problem with a lot of relationships, especially, in the woman-man dynamic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I give women a lot of credit. They'll deal with a man that they say, okay, well, he got some potential. He has some potential. He's got some rough edges that I think I could work out. But like my mom always said, and my grandmother and them said, if a person is still doing the same BS at 35, 40, that's who they're going to be for the rest of their life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 20s, you still got a chance. Early 30s, you got a chance. Once you get into your mid to the late 40s, that's who you are for the rest of your life. So I think right now it's just like, you focus on yourself, and then it just naturally comes to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're going out searching and you're looking, that's when you get into the worst relationships. When you're out searching, Because then when you're out searching, it's basically a hunt, and then the first thing that comes by that's halfway decent, you're gonna latch on to it, and no matter how bad it gets, you're gonna still stay with that ship, even when it's sinking. And that's just how I feel. I could be wrong, I might be wrong, but
Bro, what do you have to say
seen it
about
too many
this?
times for it not to be true.
I just feel like, yes, like people do not look at themselves. Like they don't, like, even their perspectives when they go into relationships, how they look at people and how people look at them at situations, and just like, you know, it's just real wild. You know, like I could bring up the thread the other day to where, people out there, you know, they picking constantly the same person, the bad guy, the bad guy, the bad guy, the bad guy. And they're saying it's the bad guy, but it's really who they are choosing. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to it's your choice. You know what I'm saying? So it's all your energy, it's your preference. You know what I'm saying? People allowing too much, I think, people allowing too much disaster into their life, and that comes with dysfunction and the type of choices that they're making about people. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part is we all got options. We all got better choices to pick. So it all comes down to who you're choosing. Like even me, I know my mistakes. At this age, I know my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm probably been single this long because I know what not to do. You know what I'm saying? But if I constantly just put the blame on other people, then I would be out there still picking and choosing. Like, man, that's dumb. But now I'm just know at this point, like, yo, it's on me. You know what I'm saying? And when it's on you, you know what I'm saying? You're more conscious of what choices that you're picking, and you're, you know what I'm saying, what's good for you. So I don't know, that's my piece into relation and how I look.
Keita.
Ask the question again.
Oh, I don't forgot the question, but the question was basically Anthony basically said it's the person whose responsibility is it excuse me, I got to rephrase the question. Like I said, the occupation of a person shouldn't define whether the person's good or not. So my question is to you, Keita, because you're the only woman on the panel. If a woman continuously keeps picking the bad guys who do her dirty, but she really is a good woman, she want a good man, is it her fault or she just can't find that one man?
You know, I had this conversation earlier, and somebody called me and asked me for some advice. And the advice was for a friend, because she said, you know, I'm so sick of hearing my friend complain about her current relationship. So, you know, I was having a conversation with her about what type of friend, you know, you need to be, you know, like either you're going to be her friend and listen, or you have to be honest and tell her you don't want to hear it, but then you have to deal with the consequences of what you're saying to your friend when you tell her, I don't want to hear like this, right? So we're having this conversation, and she gets frustrated because she's like, you know, she keeps picking these men. And I said to her, I don't think it's who a person picks, because I don't want to just blame it all on women or men. But I think when a person picks someone, they find themselves trying to heal and fix everybody. It's not about who you pick, it's about how long you stay there, right? So if you meet a man and you see that he's not compatible, you have to leave. If you have a list of deal breakers, and you also have to be confident in who you are and what you believe in and what you will not settle for. Okay. And as a woman, it's very hard to live like that, because people will literally look you in your face and say, who the fuck do you think you are? Right? You're a woman. You're a Black woman. There aren't many men out here, and you need to be happy with what you get. How dare you be so, how dare you have all these rules and regulations and all of the standard, but you also have to be so confident in who you are and the things you've been through and where you want to go that you're not going to let anybody just deter you from that road. So when you run into men that are nice and have great jobs or not so great jobs or whatever it is that this list that you have and you're checking off your list, he's tall, he's handsome, he's all of these things. But once you get to the place where you're not, when you think about the real things that really make you happy, you know, whether that's Valentine's Day, whether that's a date night a week, if he's so busy and he works and he can't date you like you want, right? Say he can only date you once every 2 weeks. But you can't settle. He can be a great guy. He may be an awful guy. What difference does it make? This is when you're going into looking for a relationship. This is not about them. This is about you. Are you getting the things that you want, sir or ma'am? Are you getting the things that you want? You know, do you need a woman that cooks? Then you have to find a woman who enjoys cooking. She doesn't have to cook for you the first 3 months you're dating, but she has to enjoy cooking because eventually you're going to want somebody who wants to cook for you. Right. So when these women get in these relationships with these men and they've been with them and these are terrible relationships and they're calling their girlfriends and friends and guy friends for advice, what we need to be saying to them is, you know, it's not that so much that you're a bad person or you have some kind of mental issue or you have some kind of, you know, hurt and pain that you can't escape from in your past. And this is why you keep picking these clowns or these fuckboys, whatever you want to call them. It's because a lot of times it also has to do with you having this spirit and this energy where you want to fix every fucking body and you listening to everything everybody's telling you. You know, these men need love and people need love and women need to be held and loved. But you also need to be in a secure environment where you're comfortable and you are getting what you need. If you're not getting what you need, move on.
Let me ask you, Keita. Do you think that our society puts women in a box?
Absolutely.
You said, yeah. Explain a little bit more because you said something that really caught my attention. Was people always trying to tell you, girl, you need to settle.
Get you a good man. He got a good job. Yeah. Meanwhile, he don't ever see you. If that's not what you want, you can't be with somebody who's not gonna see you, right? I'm a different kind of a person. When my ex-husband worked long hours. And he did like regional work. So he had to monitor and look over a lot of things. He was always out. I could care less. I'll see you when you get home. You know what I mean? Like it didn't bother me. But some people, it might bother you. But women, especially Black women, are in this box, right? Even being assertive and sure when you speak makes people uncomfortable. I'm a woman, yes, but I'm an individual. I'm a person. So don't assume because I'm a woman that I speak soft to everybody or that I'm super friendly, right? Because I'm nice, but I'm not friendly. Like I say it all the time. I'm nice, but I'm not friendly. Like I don't like to run up on people and hug them and smile up in everybody's face. I'm not one of them kind of people. But women in general get put in this box, especially in relationships. On one hand, somebody's telling you that you need to get out there, girl, and find you a man at all costs. And then in the next box, when you reserve yourself and say, you know what, I'm not really, looking. Whenever he finds me, he finds me. And you have this list of standards that you want to stick to. They make you feel guilty. They shame you into that. Like, who do you think you are? You're living in la la land. You think these men exist? You think you're going to get all of this and think you're going to get all of that? Yes. And I think if a man wants something, he needs to wait and stick it out too and wait until he gets what he wants. How dare you grow to be middle-aged and not be happy? And then you think you're going to drive somebody else crazy? Like
Anthony and Rel, this is for you guys because we're the men. Do you think that we are we add to putting women in a box? Because a lot of us, we are friends with a lot of females and and they'll tell us something and we'll hear what they're saying, but we're not really listening to what they're saying. We'll be like, hold on, let me finish. Look, we'll be telling them, like Shakita said, yo, why don't you just give old boy a chance? But old boy ain't worth a damn, and he's gonna do her dirty. Do you think that as men that we play a role in this?
Okay, so on your last sentence about us knowing that we doing a dirty or whatever. Okay, so me personally, I'm like, type of person like you got to find out on your own, especially when it's not my business or whatever. It's not my business to get into your, especially relationships. You want to ask me advice on something else? Yeah. Other times I just be like, hey, figure it out for yourself. I think that women have it two-pronged because, like, you know, and this is gonna be hard for a lot of women to swallow, but I think sometimes the biggest enemy to women is women, like themselves, because just like she said, you know what I'm saying, if you don't stay in the box of what they want, they're gonna say, well, how come you don't got a man? Or you know what I'm saying, you should just settle, or you know, this or that. And then they listen to that, and then you know, when it doesn't fit what they try to do, then the projection goes on to the man, and then we have that tit for tat stuff. For me,
well, you know, men do that too.
I was getting to it. So even, you know what I'm saying, even on our side, like me, I'm just like, I don't really have any like negotiables. Like, you know what I'm saying? For me, as long as you cool and you just don't like, you know, I'm more of a like, you do your own thing, I do mine, we come together. You know, I don't need you to cook 5 times a week because I could cook myself if I'm hungry or whatever. I really don't need all that. But you know, some people do. And, you know, I'm just saying in terms of that, like, you know, guys, we could put men in the box. We could put women in the box. We could just be like, there's some guys out there just be like, I want my wife to do, or my future wife or girlfriend to be A, B, and C. I need this done, this done, this done, and this done. So then you got women saying, hearing on one side, okay, well, you need to do this. And then you got a man on this side, well, I want this. Then it just makes that box and encapsulates them. They can't get out. And then you see all the stress and triggers and everything come out on that. You got one person telling you that you ain't shit if you don't have a man. And then you got a man telling you, like, I'm not going to be with you if you don't do this. So you double screwed. You know,
well, that's why you have to be secure in who you are and really just say, I'm not going to deal with that.
A lot of people aren't, though. You know that. A lot of women aren't. A lot of men.
I understand that, but that's why you have to be supportive to women when they don't settle. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Because if you have daughters and sisters and best friends, you need to be more supportive to these women who are in situations where they're saying, you know what, I'm comfortable in my space. I'm comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable in my house. I don't need to be in a relationship.
Look,
I'm waiting until I find the right relationship, even with your male friends. Men, you know.
Look, to be honest, when a woman tells me all the stuff you told me, that makes me more attracted to them. When they say, look, I got my own shit, I don't need that, you know what I'm saying? Because to keep it a buck, when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I used to always be attracted to older women because older women had that need to just be like, I don't need you for nothing. And I used to love that.
But you also have to understand that men now don't quite understand that. And I think that's because, like Quentin said, like men and women sometimes find themselves in a battle of the sexes for no reason, right? You have all of these men who really want an independent woman that they don't have to baby and teach them things and financially support them completely, right? But then the minute a woman says, "Oh, I don't need a man," God forbid she types that, right? I don't need a man. He can't hear her tone. He don't know what she's saying. He don't know her feelings. He's physically reading that she said, "I don't need a man." He loses his shit. What do you mean you don't need a man? That's what's wrong with women. Y'all don't ever need, because he can't. You understand what I'm saying? But it makes let me finish. But it makes no sense because most men want a woman who's independent. So if you have a woman who's beautiful and saying, "I'm independent, I have my own business, I'm however many umpteen years deep in my own career, my children are being reared correctly, and I'm independent, and I don't need a man." Why wouldn't you, instead of being triggered, why wouldn't you say, "How don't you need a man?" Ask, be inquisitive if you're interested, instead of being triggered and getting all sassy and nasty. Instead, just, you know, men behave and pretend as if they have it all together and they're so emotionally sound. The littlest thing sets them off. So here you are as a man saying, I dated older women because they were independent. They had a lot going on, and I thought it was sexy. And now you have men that are just like independent. That's why you buy your motherfucking self. Meanwhile, here we are having a conversation saying, I would rather women nowadays would rather wait to find the perfect mate and they're independent, and that shit slips past the joker's ears. I don't get it.
Let me like, because the whole it's a big thing, like with this box period, right? Because the box is imaginary, and it's actually set on a lot of women by women. You know what I'm saying? Like he said. So it's almost like y'all keep comparing yourself to each other. And it's like, damn, well, what do I have, or what does she have, or whatever, right? But what the box really is really age creeping up, and you know that your time is limited. So, like, man, we can still
That's some ignorant shit.
we can do the Dougie. We can,
that don't even make sense.
We can stretch this out a long time. You know what I'm saying? A 50-year-old man can snatch a 50-year-old woman, and 25-year-old woman, he could do his thing. But I think a woman knows that, like, her external value, her external attraction goes down after a certain amount of time. So it's like she's on that clock. She's on that clock. So if she's out on the street, that internal clock.
What is that internal clock?
When she's on these streets, right? She puts herself in a box. She's like, damn, I gotta have a man, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. And then what happens when she doesn't have that? She goes back into this bag, and then she says certain things like, yo, I'm an independent, or I'm a strong woman, but she's not saying that verbatim. Like, when they say I'm an independent woman, it's not really so much about being an independent woman. It's so much about, I'm telling you that I don't need you. And that's why women, that's why it's a triggering word for men, because it's almost like fighting words. Like, I don't need you, nigga. It's not so much, hey, look, I got my own stuff, and I'm proud of my. Because men don't go along and say I'm an independent man, because there's no need to say that. We don't say I'm a strong man because
you don't come from centuries. You don't come from centuries of the man being head of the household and taking care of the house and paying all of the bills, while a woman sits around all day long and takes care of her home and her children. So that's where that phrase.
Hold on, I'm not done talking. You still trying to wear a belt. You still trying to wear a belt on your chest, and it's unnecessary to be said. Because first of all, it's like you just gaslight the conversation. It's like, listen, I'm an independent woman, but that's okay. We love that, but don't say it in a way to like, I don't need you, because you
have to. I don't want to. I'm not. You know what? Men like that who think that way and feel that way. You have to come. Which way? Be the way you're talking, sir. Then you just talk for 10 minutes.
About what? Give it context.
Let me finish. The men who think like that or feel that way need to come with their own set of self-esteem. Because anytime a woman saying that I am independent triggers you to a place to where you think that somebody's faking and playing.
Men don't say that. So what is the reason for a woman?
No, you don't. You don't. I don't.
I'll be like, listen, I'm an independent man.
Men that I know, they know ignorant shit like that. Men I know don't feel that way about women, and they don't say that ignorant shit.
Listen, y'all. Let's bring it back a little bit, because y'all have for some strange reason we have people that's watching the show and we appreciate them. Yeah, they could be doing something else. We're confusing them, or they're not understanding, and it's okay, because we're here to bring clarity on our positions.
All right,
so we're gonna move along.
Go ahead, bro.
We're gonna move along, because it's getting to a point where it's becoming redundant. But listen, let me ask. I want to ask Anthony and Rel a question from a woman's perspective. What if the roles were reversed, and you met a woman at a club and she'd be like, I don't want nothing from you but sex? Because it appears that, from looking at the group and looking at some of the questions and some of the statements most people say in the group, is that women appear to always look at guys and be like, I'll deal with him. He got husband potential. He could be this, that, and third. but men always seem to come with some slick game, saying that they want her to be the wife, but he just want to get in her draw. So let's just say if it was reversed and a woman came up to you and said, "I don't want nothing from you.
Okay.
I just want to have sex."
Okay, baseline. As human animals, our baseline function on this planet is to ensure that the species survives. That's what we're here for. Let's put all that stuff out of here. That's what we're here for. We're here to make sure there's more Jeffs, there's more Quintins, there's more Anthonys, there's more Shakitas. That's why we here. You know what I'm saying? That's our drive. With that being said, if a woman comes up to a guy in a club, first you got to look at why the person's at the club in the first place. Women go to the club to hang out, have a good time with their girlfriends, dance, whatever. I know when I was younger, I was in the club to have a good time and go hunting. So if a woman comes up to me in the club and just be like, "Yo, I just want to have sex with you,"
You gonna think it's crazy, right?
That's different.
I didn't hear you, Anthony.
Home. But like, see, the thing is,
Anthony, I didn't hear you. You said you're gonna think it's crazy.
I'm just saying. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
What was your answer?
No, so I'm saying if a woman comes up to me in the club and says, like, "I just want to have sex, let's go," I consider that mission accomplished, because you know what I'm saying, like, hey, I'm not gonna turn it down. You look good, whatever, and I'm not looking at you as a wife or nothing like that. I'm looking at you as just some fun for the time being.
I'm asking you a question though. I'm asking you a question. How would you look at that woman though? I'm not asking you about you. How would you look at that woman? Would you look at her as a bad person?
No, I would just look at her as somebody that just want to have fun tonight. like that's it. You know what I'm saying? We can get some breakfast at the diner tomorrow morning. Depending on how long I stay.
I can speak to that. Because it's actually for some people, it's kind of weird because it throws people off. It's like, damn, well, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? But it does happen. It actually happens more often, you know what I'm saying, now than I would say back, 10 years ago. For me, it's fine because I just understand, the society that we in. It's better for you to come up and do that anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's a better start than you telling me you looking for a dude, because I just find that it's better for us to just have sex, get to know each other, and be friends and see if we can even, be around each other, then whatever. So it's two ways for me. You could either be some creep who out here, or you could be very intelligent and know that, you know what I'm saying, this sex don't mean nothing, but yet and still you could be like, you know what I'm saying, I person that something could develop into. So I don't put too much weight into it. But obviously, a lot of men will look at that and be like, yo, this girl might be a hoe or something. You know what I'm saying?
But
hold on, Anthony, hold up. For the people that's on Facebook and YouTube, I would be able to see your comments if you subscribe to the page and I know who you are. If you're on Facebook, I can see the comments, but I can't see who's saying the comments. So I always see the comments. I don't know if they're a particular question or just a comment of what we're talking about. So if you ask a specific question, you're more than likely to ask myself or anybody else that's on the panel a specific question. I'm asking hypothetical questions about the topic of the show is where are the good women and men? Like I said, we don't want to continue to have quote unquote battle of the sexes. Men always blaming women, women always blaming men. It's like at a certain point, we as middle-aged people, we have to get better.
Well, when you present a question and you ask me from a woman's perspective and I give it, you cannot then have Jeff have an entire dialogue about what women think and feel, and he's not a woman. It makes absolutely no sense because he was
First of
completely
all,
wrong. He was completely wrong. He was completely wrong. It was his opinion.
You too.
You need to let me finish talking.
Wait, Shakita,
Go
Shakita,
ahead.
1 second.
What do you think?
Just all I'm gonna ask you two to do is just have a little respect for each other when one person is talking. Let the other one finish to make a point. And
All right, go ahead.
Shakita, you're exactly correct. I did ask you a specific question because you are the woman on the panel, and I want you to give your perspective because even though I do have a lot of female friends, that question about the box and women being placed in a box is very serious and is very relevant. So we don't, like I said, we don't want to continue to always have these discussions, and it's like we're not getting nowhere. To a point, like I said, if you can't, and this is my personal opinion, if you can't be healthy for yourself, you can't even be healthy for the members of the opposite sex in your family. And we're not just talking, like I said, we're not just talking about relationships if me and Shakita was together. Because if I'm not right, I couldn't be with nobody.
Absolutely.
I couldn't even have a relationship with my sister. So this is the topic to let the people in the chat understand what's going on, and we veer off and we go to a different direction. So where are we at now? So Shakita, to reassess this box issue, do you think that women, particularly Black women, get enough support from Black men?
It all depends. I think there are plenty of men who are very, very supportive. They understand and can have dialogue. They can have debates. They can have conversations. When you ask them advice or questions, they don't come from a place where they are behaving or speaking to you as if they're a psychologist, right? So when you first asked me the question that you asked me, I did not talk about how women need to fix themselves and how they need to do this and how they need to do that, because I don't think that that's relevant. There's so many people out in the world, and I don't know how many people are watching, but I'm not here to preach to somebody and tell them how they need to fix themselves, right? All I can simply say is, as a woman, you just simply need to be confident about who you are and what you want and not settle when it comes to finding a good mate. Are men supportive? I believe there are some that are supportive, but then there are times where there absolutely are not. I.e., I'm here on this show this evening. I give a woman's perspective, and then and not a single time not at one time had Jeff turned and said, from a man's perspective, he had the opportunity. Here we are talking about not battling of the sexes. He had an opportunity, and he's on a platform to speak positively from a man's perspective. And instead, he chose to discuss and talk about what's wrong with women and how they do this and how they do that. That's not his place.
All right.
It's not his place.
All
But
right.
we don't have to have a discussion about what's not his place. What I'm simply saying is,
But
if you are a man who is on a platform to say something positive from a man's perspective, there you would have the support that other women who are listening could possibly benefit from.
But listen,
so whether or not men are supportive or not, I don't know. But as I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Anthony and I'm listening to certain things that he says, I think when you're trying to get perspective, it was supportive if you have somebody listening and could possibly benefit from something that he's saying. Okay, and I'm only saying that because when I read the comments briefly, everybody is like, how would he speak from a woman's perspective? He's not a woman. And then you turn around and you ask, do women get support from men? He has the opportunity to say something that could be supportive. Use the platform to do so.
Wait a second.
I'm only answering Quentin's question. So that's your answer. That's your answer, Quentin.
Listen. I can't ask the same question that I just asked Shakita, Terrell, and Anthony.
But that's your answer. So I'm telling you that I think there are some supportive men. And as a full-on virtual example, there's 2 men here right in my face. One, I gave you an example of how he's supportive and he's being supportive at this very moment, and how one is not. So I can't particularly answer your question, but I gave you a great example.
So
Okay.
Anthony, this is the question to Anthony and Rel.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that black women are supportive of black men?
I think they are, but I'm just gonna say one thing before I even get into that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm the type of person I don't like, especially on this type of platform. I don't want to be condescending, and I don't want to tell you what you want to hear. Because telling you what you want to hear is the worst thing that you can do. Because then it just kind of like validates.
It's boring.
It can validate like a long held thought that may not be right. So like that's like. But wait! I'm just saying that's what a lot of men do. A lot of men will say, "Okay, like let's just say I'm with a woman, right? And I wanna have sex with her, right? And she says, "Oh no, we're not gonna have sex for like 3 months or whatever." I said, "Okay." In my head, like, all right, I'll just wait. I'll sit and wait. I'm like a sniper. I'll just sit and wait and wait and wait and wait until that 3 month mark hits, and then I make my move, and then I strike, and I still get what I want. I just had to wait. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, for the whole 3 months, everything you want to hear. I take you out. I say sweet nothings into your ear. I'm always picking up the phone. I'm always like, doing this and that and stuff like that. I just think as a man, me personally, I like directness. Tell me what you want from the beginning. What you like, what you don't like, what you this and that, and I'm gonna choose the F with you or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna choose to run with it or not. That's how I roll. On the flip side, you know what I'm saying? And like I've done it to women when I was younger. I was no angel, I was no saint. You tell them straight, you be like, okay, whatever.
Someone in the chat just asked they want to be on the panel. I don't know who you are. Just inbox me. I'll send you the link.
It's Marcia.
I'll send her the link.
So I'm like this is what it is. So
Marcia Town.
So like to keep it funky, getting back on Q's question. I'm sorry, what was the question again? Because
are black women supportive to black men?
Okay, so yes, I think black women are very supportive of black men. I think they are. You know what I'm saying? We see it in the group and stuff like that. We see it. They've given me no reason to say they don't, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to it, all we got is us anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's all we got. So it's like I'm not gonna go out my way to dog a black woman for anything. But on the flip, I'm not gonna agree with everything you say too, because some long held beliefs are wrong. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to do that to my detriment or the woman's detriment, because it's like, she could say, well, all men are dogs, this and that. And the minute I like come with a opinion that's to the contrary, I come with an opinion that's to the contrary, then it's like, what? Well, you're not with us? No, right. I'm still with you. I just don't agree with you at that moment on that subject. Right. You know what I'm saying? I still got your back. You know what I'm saying? If somebody say anything crazy or whatever, but at this time with that comment, I just don't agree with you. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anybody would agree with that.
Because Shakira, on the page and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I've went at it with a whole bunch of people because I stay in my convictions. If I believe something, I'm gonna fight with you to the end. You should. If you believe something, if it's not fact and it's your opinion and that's how you feel, then feel the way you feel. That's absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, Rel, I'm gonna just let you know, man. You know you my people's, Rel, but you got people in the chat. They coming at your throat, brother. They coming at your throat. They coming at your throat.
But he's here for the smoke, though.
They feel like you was, bro. But see, look, listen. Sometimes it don't necessarily have to be here for the smoke. I sort of say. No, but sometimes people want a male's perspective and a woman's perspective. When you started speaking about a woman's perspective, you got
like women, you are a woman.
Women in the chat looking at you like, but then not only is you off base, but you're not a woman. So, Rel, let me ask you that.
In the chat saying black men are the most disrespectful race of men when it comes to black women.
Don't pay the chat no mind. That's my job, sir.
Well, all right, well, hold on. We're gonna bring that shit to a full stop because
no, I want you to answer the question first, and then you finish, brother. Do you feel as though black women are supportive of black men?
Like, see that now that's a question, like that's just a generic question that can alter based upon the situation. So I don't even look at whether they like, I can't just say, okay, black women are support, because I don't know. Like, it's a real generic question. Like, are we talking about in the group? Are we talking about at home? Are we talking about
in general? We're talking about in general.
That's still like it's a large question. But in general, from what I see on the streets,
do you make every woman that you come around feel safe?
That's not my job.
You don't think that's your job?
Like I'm not, put it like this. I don't walk outside my house every day. I'm not Superman for the fucking community. Excuse my language. I'm not Superman for the community. I'm Superman for my family. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times people get it confused when you say you're not Superman for women. They're like, oh, so you don't understand. Listen, I got 2 kids right now that I took, you know what I'm saying, took the court and I got custody of. I'm a super father and I take care of both their mothers regardless of what's going on. So understand, I do this shit for and the woman in the chat. If you know me for real in real life, you know, listen, you know how Real is, you know how Jeff is. So that's a question. But
let me just get back to something.
Right.
Everybody in the chat, I do see your questions. Just give me 1 second. I'm not avoiding everybody in the chat. Hassan asked a question a while ago. Does everybody on the panel, Rel and Anthony as men and Shakita as a woman, he asked, do you guys know your roles?
Roles as what though?
Right.
A man.
Another generic question.
Roles as a man?
Yeah.
In a relationship.
Roles as a man?
Early on in a
relationship.
If he's talking about a relationship, early on in a relationship, you have these conversations with your potential significant other. You know, I think roles vary based on what you are, what each of you need. But my role as a Black woman, as a mother, daughter, girlfriend, all of those things. I mean, it's a very broad question, but I absolutely do know my role. I know that I need to carry myself a certain way when I'm out because for whatever reason, I have people that look up to me. You know, I was raised by my mother and father who are still alive, who observe and notice everything that I do as well. So I do know what my roles are. I know that I need to be positive. I know I want to be assertive. I want to be sure of myself. I want to be smart. I want to be so many different things. And I put all of those things forward every single day. So I do know my role. And if I'm in a relationship and I'm not sure of my role or I'm trying to learn my role, I ask questions. You know, I try to give the person what they need and I demand what I need.
All right, now roles as in what though? Like you gotta tell me. I know, but you gotta tell me what type of the relationship.
More context.
Because
we were talking about relationships. It's all about are there any good men out here or any good women out here?
Okay, so listen, like you said, it determines. It all determines on what type of relationship it is.
Okay, if you believe that men's job is to maintain and protect and provide for a woman. Do you believe that's the role of
at what level of the relationship? If you're talking about a wife,
at just any level, any level of relationship.
Okay. So all right. So for me, casually dating, I don't owe anybody anything. I don't owe anybody a damn thing. We casually dating because we just filling each other out. And we just hanging out and having sex every once in a while and chilling out. I don't owe you anything. You know what I'm saying? I can do things for you because I want to, but I don't owe you anything. I don't have a role there. If we're dating and we're serious and we think it could go somewhere, then it may change. Then it says, you know what? Let me take on a little more responsibility. Let me do a couple more things that I want to do. If we're married, then the roles are clear. You know what I'm saying? That's determined by the people in the relationship. That's like, okay, the wife says, I expect this out of you. The husband's like, I expect this out of you. That's how it goes. But if we're just casually dating and hanging out, I don't owe you anything because she can leave me at any point. I can leave her at any point. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where a lot of people get it messed up. You know what I'm saying? They want like marriage responsibilities with a boyfriend girlfriend title or a we just hanging out title. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had women that I've casually dated or hung out with, and then like when it goes south or it goes to the left or whatever, they just like, well, you didn't do all the things that I want you to do. I was like, well, it wasn't even at that level where where saying that was a requirement.
And that's why it's important when you find somebody to date. But that's why everybody has to find and be with who they want to be with. If you're looking, like if you feel, if there has to be a certain level of relationship for you to contribute or do certain things for a certain or for the person that you're with, then that it was right for that person to say, this isn't working for me. I want more. I need more.
Let me ask you guys a question.
That's completely
maybe because the way I'm wording it, I could be confusing myself when I'm even asking you guys the question. Let me ask you guys a question, and this is not to try to put nobody on blast or nothing like that, but we doing grown folk business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody from the opposite sex that you're friends with that you just text or call and be like, look, everything all right? I'm just checking up on you. How's everything going?
Okay, so, but see,
but you're not sleeping with them. They just your friend.
Right, but that's not a job. You're not.
But that is Rel. Actually, that is a role. That is a role.
It is
as part of being a friend, and definitely as a male. For a male, I'm speaking for myself. I have a lot of female friends.
Okay.
And best believe I check up on every one of them. If not once a week, once a month, once every 6 months. Like, yo, you all right? Everything good?
I'm asking you a question. Though.
That's your role.
Is it your role to take care of
the man?
No, that's my role as a male who happens to be their friend.
See, I think about it
because I believe women need that form of protection, not just from their men, from their male friends.
All right, wait a minute, Jeff. Let me. So, if you believe that, right? All right, if you believe that a woman, if a woman, needs all that and stuff like that, how can they say they're independent if they need that? You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not about that's not about independence. That's about doing what a man does. A man is the head. Let's go all the way back. Like, y'all try to say, if we're gonna go back to the village, the men in the village took care of the women, whether she had a man or not. The men were the protectors and the providers of the village. Right, so the man's job, whether she's got a man or not, and definitely if she's a widowed woman, he should be checking and making sure she's okay. Now, you guys cannot tell me during this COVID that's going on, y'all have not inboxed any female that y'all friends with and said, yo, you okay? Everything good? Y'all haven't done that?
That's different. We don't live in the same society. So now we kind of in a
yes or no.
Instead of a village, we in a clan system now.
Yes or no.
What are you talking about? Yes or no?
Have you reached out to any woman and checked on her? He asked a question.
Ain't talking about that. Listen,
that's what he just asked you.
we not in a village.
No, that's what he asked you. If you have not, say no.
So we're in a clan system, right? So the people
cut that bullshit out. What clan system? Nobody's in a clan system. You are. He asked you a question. He asked you if you asked men a question.
Listen,
Anthony.
This COVID situation, right? This COVID situation, the only people that I've been primarily concerned with is my family.
Right.
My wife, my daughters.
Exactly, because when you ask, you can answer.
Let me finish. My mother, my father, my grandmother, all the women in my family, whoever is close to me that I'm worried about, they are my primary concern. Everybody else,
and it's nothing wrong with that.
Everybody else, like, I like, if I see him in passing or something like that, I might, I'll be like, you okay, blah, 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 blah. Most of the time, half the people we deal with are on Facebook anyway, so we know how they are anyway, because if they posting all day, obviously they fine. So, you know what I'm saying? So I haven't had the inbox. I've had people inbox me, you know what I'm saying? Just to, not to even ask me if I'm okay, just, just talking or whatever, this and that. But like I said, outside of my family, my mother told me that I have a responsibility to 3 people: my wife and my 2 daughters,
Yeah,
even
that's
above my
fine.
mother. Even
That's
above
fine.
my mother. I
That's
have
fine.
responsibility to them.
I'm
So
not
you know, anybody else,
that I don't know from 15
because if I'm using time to worry about anybody else, I'm causing a detriment to my own family. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And that's
but
what I
that's
think
that's
talking about.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I think that my question, I don't know if I said the question wrong. I'm just saying if you
You
if
didn't.
you checking on your people, if you saying you have these relationships with people, whether they're just friends or not, you're not making sure they're okay, whether they're on Facebook or not.
In
But
terms of
Quentin,
what?
they might not. But
No, I'm
Quentin,
saying in
everybody
terms of
doesn't
what?
have friends,
Well,
though.
you're talking about if I'm having sex with somebody.
No, it's
do I
not.
check
It's not.
on them?
It has nothing to do with sex. For example, a lot of us. Let me bring it all the way back. A lot of us have lost people in their families.
Okay.
Multiple. Some of us have lost 2 and 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that somebody that you're friends with on Facebook lost somebody, instead of the usual condolences, stuff like that everybody do, you haven't inboxed that person and said like, "Yo, just checking on
It
you."
depends on
No.
how good of a friend they are, and then on
Right.
top of that, sometimes you know when people die and
Hold
stuff
on,
like
hold
that.
on, Anthony.
You know
Somebody
what?
in the chat. Hold on. Somebody in the chat keeps thinking that I'm asking them are they cheating. This has nothing to do with cheat. This has nothing to do with cheating. This is men. My perspective, and I'm sorry that I may be old fashioned, and I get it, and I could be out of date. A dude like me could be out of date. It's okay.
Quentin,
I'm okay with it. But
Quentin,
I think a man is supposed to check on people, whether
Quentin.
it's
I'm just saying
female,
Q.
male.
I'm just saying Q.
Quentin.
Your primary responsibility is to your family.
But that's okay.
What I'm saying at the end was, like, listen, some people, what I was gonna say at the beginning, I mean at the end was some people, like when they go through death, when they have death, I don't like to bother them because you know what I'm saying, I don't want to interrupt their grief process.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes if I go and I say like, "Hey, how you doing?" People could take that as being condescending and being like, "Yo, like you don't even really know me like that. Like, why you even come? You know what I'm saying? Coming to me like that, stuff like that." So I like to you know do it at a later date, or you know what I'm saying, like kind of. I just try to stay out of it because I don't want to interrupt people's grief process.
I feel what you're saying. He's saying that basically, like men should just. You know what I'm saying? They should have a community where it's like, oh, are you all right? Are you all right? Let's make sure this house down the block is all right. Y'all good. See, like, I understand that. That's cool. And I think, and you know, and I think back in the day, we had something like that. But I think now that we're a little bit more fractured, people worry about their immediate family, like immediate friends, immediate cousins, immediate, like, you know, wife, kids, or whatever. See, I'm about that. But I can't task myself with worrying about the whole damn village, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe the old lady down the street that I often see, I'll check like, yo, I ain't see her. Is she all right? Cool. But I just don't see myself as a man. I don't. Everybody is not my responsibility. I got to take care of what's immediate mine, and that's my view of how a man should be. Like that's my role for a man. Take care of your immediate circle. You know what I'm saying? If you can, your friends, if you can pull up your closest friends and family, I'm doing that for sure. But I can't take care of the village. So I don't see myself in that role as a man, which is the original question that we started off with.
Quentin, you asked a question, and I think that you were very black and white. And I think it called for a yes or no answer. You asked, and it was much simpler than before you brought it back. Before you brought it back, you simply just said, as a man, do you have female friends that you check on? That's all you asked. Do you have female friends that you check on? During this COVID-19, have you reached out to any women that you know and say, hey, how you doing? Are you all right? Rails clearly said no.
That wasn't that. He started off with the village.
He clearly said, let me finish talking and don't cut me off. I didn't cut you off.
All right. But I did.
I did not cut you off. He clearly said, I don't do that. My sole primary concern are my children and myself. That's cool. Anthony said, my primary concern is my wife and my children. Cool. I'm here to tell you that there are plenty of men who reach out and ask, how are women doing? Every man is not going to do that. That's not for every man. That's not every man's job. And I think when we are in an environment and we're asking, where are the good men and where are the good women? Everybody's perspective of good is different than the next person's. Is that my perspective of good? Absolutely not. Do I want my sons to be out in the world and know befriend 5 or 6 different women on top of the 12 homeboys they cool with or 6 homeboys they cool with and play video games and do whatever else they're doing throughout the day and don't once reach out to any of these women? Absolutely not. I don't want my children to do that. I want them to be able to reach out and say, hey, how you doing? How's everything going? How's your life? What's going on? Be equally concerned with your so-called female friend as you are concerned about your male friends, or just reaching out and just saying, what's up? My view when I think of a good man is not a man who doesn't care about these people that he consider friends just because this particular person sits in peace. I don't think that that's a good idea, but that is who you are. Be comfortable in that, and that's absolutely fine. But there are plenty of men that reach out and say, how are you doing? And how is it going? I know men who have contracted COVID-19 and were in the hospital for 2 or 3 weeks. You don't think that I don't reach out to them and ask them how they're doing? I have male friends who have lost their parents. I have female friends who have lost their parents. I know tons of people who are sick, not doing well, or were out of the hospital, released from the hospital. Family members are dying all over the place, whether they're male or female. It's no way in hell I can be that concerned with myself and never not once reaching out to them and asking them how they're doing. It's nothing sexual. Even if my significant other had female friends and he reached out to them and just said, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Like I'm sure you reach out to your female friends, Quentin. I know you do. How y'all doing? What's up? How y'all doing? You know what I mean? It's nothing wrong with that, but it's also equally nothing wrong with a man who doesn't want to. Everybody lives the life they deserve and will do so, and it's none of my business.
So bringing it, so I guess my statement might have went too far off topic. I just wanted to just to throw that out there just to see what's what. So Shakita, I'm asking you the question that I asked them. Have you been checking all your male friends?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I have a friend who lost his grandmother. It's no way in the world I didn't ask him, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? Again, I had another male friend who was in the hospital for 2 weeks with COVID-19 on a ventilator. He's home. I check on him at least a couple of days a week. Why not? You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's no way, no matter what my relationship status is with anybody else, if I consider these people friends and they check on me, there's no reason I can't check on them. A verbal communication is going to kill me. There's no way. And then I have male friends who knows that my child is an EMT. How are you doing? How are your kids doing? What the fuck is wrong with that? But again, that's my village. That's the environment that I live in. So when people say things like, "Oh, you expect too much from men," that's because I know men, and that's what I consider real men. So if I'm hard on men who are not, or if I have a standard of what I think a man is supposed to be, that's because that's my life, and that's the way that it's the way that it's lived.
Mm-hmm.
So like we said, the title, and I know people in the chat feel like we got off the subject because we did kind of veer off in a 45-degree angle. So the topic was, where are the good women and good men? And basically, Anthony and Rel both said the good men and the good women are both, they're here, they're amongst us. Shakita, what do you say about that question?
I absolutely believe so. I believe so too, and I feel like the only way you're going to find a good man or a good woman is if you stick to what you want. You stick to the things that you need. If you're sure of yourself and you know what you want out of a relationship, and you know what you want out of your mate, you kind of get stuck with the bad apples when you don't let go when you're supposed to. You know what I mean? You reach into a basket full of apples. They all look the same. They're all shiny and pretty. But some of them are bruised. Some of them have rot. Some of them rot sooner than others. You have to let go when it's time to let go. And you'll find those mates. You'll find those beautiful people, even in friendships. You know, everybody isn't meant to be your friend. Everybody doesn't relate or understand you. That doesn't mean that you have to befriend them or you have to constantly be in communication with these people. Let them go. You ain't got to sit around and talk to nobody that doesn't serve a good friendship or doesn't nurture a good friendship. Just like in a relationship, they're out there. Just stop focusing on the ones that are bad.
So Rel, what you got anything to add, Rel?
Just like a big thing with this group. You know what I'm saying? A lot of communities believe in one singular thing, and then if you don't believe in that way, you know what I'm saying, everything is objective. But it's like, I'm not here to basically agree with everybody, and everything is not going to be agreeable. And there's a lot of thought pathology that I just don't think is even progressive for, you know what I'm saying, our community as a whole. So you might hear me say a bunch of different things. That don't make me wrong. It might make you wrong. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. But understand, I'm a person with an opinion. And you know that shit is okay. But as far as when we talk about with different topics and male and women perspective, understand, like, I speak from a male perspective. So when I hear women say certain things, you know what I'm saying, I give you my viewpoint on it. You know what I'm saying? As a woman, actually, you should be, you know what I'm saying, taking this stuff in. And it's not that my comment is so rare. It's just a lot of men, because of the kickback from women, they're afraid to say a lot of these things. You know what I'm saying? They're afraid. And it's a lot of cowardice. So when I bring up certain things and I give you that perspective, don't be like, okay, well, you telling how women think. And it's not that so much I'm telling you what women think. I'm telling you how men take in what women say. You know what I'm saying?
When we said you talked about what women think, you were literally speaking as if you were a woman, and that's what we were talking about. We were talking about that particular situation.
Okay, so in that case, in that one situation, I'm telling you what women are saying, and I'm telling you what the translation comes apart to when it hits our ears, and I'll tell you why you get that
your ears
that you're asking about, because you're like, okay, well, you can't talk while I'm talking, shorty.
Your ears. My name is Shakita.
It's not my ear, because obviously you're getting the same reaction. Now,
from who?
Either you're going to hear why you getting that same reaction, and then you're going to have some enlightenment, or you just going to keep on going with whatever you think. But I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm just trying to tell you what's out here, like the viewpoint of men. So
it's your viewpoint.
Yeah, it could be. But
and what are you talking about?
Common than you think. It's more.
It's not about it being. It's not. This is what you're confused about. It's not about it whether or not I'm not arguing with you. I'm giving you clarity. It's not about me believing or thinking what is common.
Okay.
You have to speak from your perspective, yours. And when you speak from your perspective, that's something completely different.
Okay.
That's what you can do, and that's all you can do. You can't speak for every man because everybody doesn't feel the way you do.
Okay, but for the conversation, does it make you feel comfortable for me to say, okay, well, this is what my personal thought, or does it make you feel less comfortable when I say this is how men think? Because I want you to speak
from your perspective.
It doesn't matter. I've been
and
around.
when a man doesn't agree with you, then don't ask me.
All right,
ask me a question and I answer.
Listen.
Both of y'all.
Excuse me.
I'm just saying.
Relax.
I just want to say one thing. We want things in this group to be linear.
I need
it's not about the group. Neither one of you don't run it, so we can't have that discussion.
I need y'all to bring it back for a second. One thing I need y'all to understand is that, remember, the group is the support of the channel, not the other way around. A lot of things that I see in the group, I won't particularly bring on a live, because some of the things I think are very subjective, and we're just supposed to give our thoughts. When you're a guest on the channel, I want everybody to give their opinion and give your perspective coming from you, whether you're a male or a female.
See, that's
let's not always say blanket statements, and this is where the people in the chat may get confused, or we may get confused as co-panelists of what's going on.
Right, because there are men who are watching and they're saying, these jokers don't speak for me. This doesn't make
and there's a lot that says these jokers are
that's not my perspective.
But listen, but listen.
So speak for yourself.
Looking at the chat.
Anthony doesn't have a problem doing that.
Hold up. Well, we're listening to the chat. We're looking at the chat. We're talking to each other.
What I would tell you, Anthony, what I would tell you is never look at the chat. And the reason why I would tell you that is because that's part of my job is to look at the chat.
I know.
Because the chat will direct a statement that's a blanket statement. So I have to figure out if it's a question or a statement that's directed to one of y'all specifically.
Fair enough.
And you may not realize it may not be for you, because a lot of the chat, particularly today, was not directed at anything that you said. It was more directed with some of the things that they thought how Rel was coming across.
All right. So fair enough. So let's look at it like this. I think there's good women. I think there's good men everywhere. It's where you find them and stuff like. It's where you find them. It's how you present yourself. It's whatever you present yourself like a bum or a jerk. That's what you're gonna. You know, what I'm saying you're gonna attract. Sometimes you might luck into a good situation. You know, because the person doesn't really know what they're looking for. I'm gonna put it like this. We went through women being put into a box, you know what I'm saying, men doing whatever, but like I said before, life is not linear. It's not in a straight line. Everything has branches and goes in between or whatever. I just believe the older I believe that you have to go through some pain to find your happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, each one of us on here has probably had a bad relationship or two, or some issues or two, or some other stuff that, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, they've been through. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I've been through some great relationships. I fucked up some great relationships that I've had before. You know what I'm saying? I've been in some bad ones, but it's led me to where I'm at right now with my wife, where I'm at right now, and I'm in a good spot. You know, so I just don't believe that, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, there aren't any good men out here and stuff like that. I think when people say, oh, there aren't any good men out there or aren't any good women out there, that's lazy and it's a cop-out. That just means that you haven't found what you want yet. And because you haven't found what you want yet, you're projecting your frustrations onto everybody else, because mystery loves company. So if you can't find a man, you can't find your happiness, and you see your boy or your girl being happy and stuff like that, you're gonna say, well, women ain't shit or men ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you haven't found, you know what I'm saying, your happiness yet. So, you know, and I think a lot, like all three of us, we got off the topic to a point because we got into a tit for tat, you know, about what men don't do or what women don't do or whatever, where the point basically was, are there good people, are there good humans on this planet? Which I believe there are. There are good people on this planet. There are fuck boys and fuck girls on this planet.
So
sure is.
but to me, it's just like, you just gotta be there and you just gotta, you know what I'm saying, keep digging. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
What's up?
Any final thoughts, bro?
I ain't got no final. Well, I always got a final thought. I love the final thought. I don't know. I'm a happy dude, man, and I love this show. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, it's like he said, all the good is out there. I just think when you have that energy, like, you know, women ain't shit or niggas ain't shit or, you know, what have you, you know, you asking for pain. You asking for pain, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I just don't think people put that other shoe, that other person on, and just even look at things from their own, you know, that perspective. Just put the other person's shoe on in each situation, and then you probably get a little bit more enlightenment on yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you could progress and stop complaining about whatever the situation is. And Also, just be accountable for everything. Every situation that fell, just be accountable for it. You know what I'm saying? That'll constantly make you a better person. It's the same just like going to the gym. If you can't do it, okay, that's on you. It ain't on nobody else. It's the same workout, the same muscle memory, the same emotional memory. Yo, work on yourself, and then things will get better. You know what I'm saying? It might be dark for a while. You might be single for a while, but you ain't gonna be in pain. You know what I'm saying? Work on yourself. That's it.
Before I get to Shakita, I just want to address one question that's in the chat. We're in 4 different chats. We're in the Periscope, we're on the YouTube channel, we're on the Let's Talk page, and we're also on the Assisting People page. The Assisting People page, this is probably the second time that I ever went live in this page with anything. So the young lady who was on the panel, for the people that's in the Assisting page, because I think that's where the answers to questions coming from, her name is Shakita. Shakita actually runs the Let's Talk group. If I haven't sent you a Let's Talk group invite, allow me to send you an invite. I just need to know who you are. If you're on the assistant page, I'll know who you are because I'll look at the page when we're done with the broadcast, and then I'll just send you an invite. One of the prerequisites for joining the Let's Talk page is to join the YouTube page as well, and it's called Let's Talk as well. And I'll give everybody the information on how to join the page and whatever. Shakita, would you any final thoughts?
Yes. So I always like to tell people, you have to date on the level of your self-esteem. If, date for what you're ready for, date for what you want, date for what you can handle. If it's hard for you to find a good man or a good woman, a lot of times it could simply just be you're dating outside of your comfort zone sometimes. And everybody doesn't want to, settle on their physical criteria, but a lot of times you might need to think outside of the box a little bit, right? I also believe that people who are having difficult times finding good mates, they definitely need to shake and move. That's what dating is for. Take the time to get to know people, and you don't have to take that much time. It doesn't take 6 to 7 months to decide whether or not you want to be with somebody. Look for the qualities you want to look for. And when the relationships are not being progressive in a way that is beneficial to a healthy relationship, you need to remove yourself. You're not going to find good men or good women when you're constantly putting yourself in situations where you want to save everybody, you want to fix everybody. Not everybody is going to be fixed. Not everybody's going to be perfect, but you can't put yourself in an environment where you think that you have to be the fixer of all things, right? You need to know what your deal breakers are, and you need to understand that, everybody deserves love, right? At where they are in their life. But that person may not be for you. So if you're finding yourself in a situation where you're constantly attracting somebody and it's not working out, think about how long it takes you to get to that place where you realize they're not the one. And think about the characteristics of this person that keeps putting you back in that place where you're like, here I am 7 months later and he's not the one. A lot of times you can figure that kind of stuff out and within the month, So just be more open-minded. And again, if the relationship isn't progressing in a positive, healthy way, remove yourself. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
My final thought is, like I said, the topic happened. It's funny because I did this show the other day, and it got postponed for some personal reasons. And when you look in the group, like I said, you look in the group and you see certain things that go on, certain comments. It's an interesting dynamic that whether there's good men or good women out here. I personally believe that one of the biggest issues that we have is the battle of the sexes. It's always men doing this or women doing that, and it's not no accountability on the individual's part. And this is the biggest problem, because what happens is you'll go from relationship to relationship to relationship always blaming everybody else for your stuff because you never got a chance to look at what you bring to the table or what you don't bring to the table, and that's not from a financial standpoint or a materialistic standpoint. You could have poor morals, so to say. And for those that don't think that you could be friends or very good friends with the opposite sex, try it and try not sleeping with them, and you'll realize that it does work. With that, I appreciate everybody that joined on Periscope, YouTube, and both Facebook pages. It was an interesting show tonight, and I hope that, like I always tell Keisha and Shakita, if it was to benefit one person, maybe we did our job. With that, everybody have a blessed night.
All right.